Hello, and welcome to Twitterverses. So, last week, Karl Jobst made a response video to his courtroom loss, and many of his fans felt they were misled, thinking the lawsuit was actually about the cheating allegations. They wanted a response that not only explained this misunderstanding, but also his reasoning. The response launched to mixed reactions, with people having multiple things they had an issue with. Let's see what Twitter has to say. Notch tweets, people turning on Karl Jobst like they got bored of being part of the good guys. Is it possible the real problem here is the cheating, narcissistic, pathological liar, and not the up until this moment trusted community member? Nick responds, we're pissed because said trusted community member had our blessings to be our knight to take down the pathological SOB, but ended up blowing it because the lawsuit we all thought we were supporting actually ended up being something in which Billy had a good point to be PO'd at. Notch responds, idiots. Nick continues, I don't see how that's the case considering Karl lost. Again, we all acknowledge that Billy is a pathological liar and a bully, but we didn't think the defense we were supporting was because he incorrectly reported that Billy was responsible for a man ending his life. Notch says, let me narrow it down for you. Idiot. Cut the Grass cuts in and says, the good guys don't mislead their audience. Everybody wanted Karl to succeed on the case he presented. Instead, he was battling something completely different. He betrayed his fan base by lying because he knew the entire time what it was about and chose not to be transparent. Ginny the Human responds, Karl misled the public about it being over scores. It gave the impression that Billy was just doing his usual thing. In reality, Karl kept doubling down on a bold and damaging assertion that Billy induced this of another person. The target doesn't excuse the act. Carl Cole tweets, Notch, I love you, but have you considered the possibility that the reason we stopped trusting him is because we found out he was lying to us? Billy Mitchell quote retweets Notch and says, people turning on Karl Jobst like they lost hundreds of thousands to him like I did. I hope you at least received a lesson on how to approach women in exchange for all the money that you gave him. Billy Mitchell continues and says, hello you absolute virgins, and plays a video of Karl Jobst. I'll cut down to the good parts.
Hi, Karl Jobst here, creator of ApproachHerNow.com. And if you're looking to increase your level of confidence around women and decrease the amount of anxiety you feel when you want to approach women, you've come to the right place. I have specifically created this website to help men who want more dates, relationships, and sex in their life, but just can't seem to make it happen because the act of approaching a woman is too difficult. If we can just go out and approach, we're going to get a lot of success. And this is true for many reasons. And this is why it is so frustrating when we can't approach. We know that if we can just get over this one obstacle, everything is going to be okay. This is actually true. And if we can just get over our approach anxiety, we're going to get a lot of success and quicker than we ever have before. If you found it difficult to approach women in the past, I can assure you it's not because there's something wrong with you. If you can't approach, it's because you don't know how. You don't understand how anxiety works, and you don't understand how to deal with it properly. I struggled with approach anxiety for 6 years. I went out to bars and clubs every weekend, hoping to approach. I actually went out with the intention of approaching. I would say to myself before I went out, I am going to approach this weekend. But the thing is, I couldn't. Something was stopping me. Now, this wasn't because I didn't know what to do either. I had spent years and literally thousands of hours studying dating advice. I knew what to say and how to say it. But that didn't help me when it actually came to doing the things that I knew how to do. If I was out at a club and I saw an attractive woman I wanted to approach, I would start trying to talk myself into approaching her. So I would say things like, what's the worst that could happen? Or, there's plenty of fish in the sea. Or, if I don't try, I'm definitely going to fail. And the thing is, all of those things didn't work. My mind wasn't in control. My body had taken over and just was not letting me approach. I started incorporating ideas from diet and exercise, and I realized one of the reasons that a lot of us can't consistently approach is very similar to the reason that a lot of us can't consistently keep up a diet. And I realized that building confidence is very similar to building muscle. And once I started using this analogy, a lot of things started becoming a lot easier. Then, after 6 years of trying to overcome my approach anxiety, I had a realization that changed everything. Now, as soon as I had this realization, success started happening quicker than it ever had. I went from someone who couldn't approach at all to someone who could approach whenever I wanted. Now, this change wasn't instantaneous. I still had to do a little bit of work, but just to compare, I had more success in 1 month than I had had in 6 years of trying. And just as I had predicted, success with women came shortly after.
Josh asks, Billy, did Carl ever walk up to you and call you cute? Billy asks Josh, is Ricky's the official hot sauce of Kiwi Farms? Josh responds, I got a ball in the mail. We'll see. Internet Anarchist replies, oh my god, this is real, isn't it? Plain Rock says, you're both retarded. Shamu tweets, don't believe Carl's lies. For no good reason says, Billy 100% watches Kino Casino and or Mad at the Internet, doesn't he? Billy Mitchell replies, I discovered them this month and watched a bit. Entertaining content for sure. Billy Mitchell tweets again saying, if the completionist sues Karl Jobst for defamation, he will win. Old School asks, why do you think that? Billy responds, charity fraud is a crime with specific elements that constitute it. The completionist objectively did not do that. That's defamation. Potentially Criminal says, Gerard and his charity were pretty sketchy. They'd be better off leaving sleeping dogs lay. MacBot says, the irony of Carl accusing the completionist of misleading his audience when Carl did the exact same thing during the trial versus you. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, tell me what you think in the comments, and I'll see you on the next Twitter Versus. Goodbye!